Brian from Winter Garden Yoga. And when I was 11 years old, I taught myself how to play the drums. I played the drums for about 10 years, plus or minus. Life happened, gave up the drums for a while, and now at the age of 51, I took them up again as a hobby. So now, a little older and a little wiser, I can see there's opportunity for muscular imbalances in the hands, shoulders, neck, hips, and stuff. So I put together yoga for drummers. And if you're a drummer, or if you happen to sit a lot, I think these stretches are going to help. So when you're ready, grab a very stable place to sit. Maybe you sit on the floor, or maybe you sit on a very stable chair or a very stable drum throne, and let's do it. Awesome. Well, the first stretch is for the neck. It's very simple. It's called retraction. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see. Normally, most of us carry ourselves with a forward head, anterior head carriage is what it's called. And we push forward this way. This is called protraction. I'm asking for retraction. Just pull your face straight back. Drop your chin slightly. Lift your skull. And you'll feel some resistance on the back of your neck. Those are your extensors. It shouldn't be painful, but it might be a little bit challenging at first. Soft breathing, and just let the muscles eventually let go. You're not trying to force, you're not trying to rush anything, but just retracting your skull, pulling your face back, dropping your chin slightly is going to help offset all the slouching. The next stretch is for the front of your body, shoulders, chest, etc. If you imagine that these are my shoulder blades or your shoulder blades, you want to retract your shoulder blades. So you bring your shoulder blades towards your spine. Sit up tall, squeeze your shoulder blades together. So what happens is you get a nice stretch through here. This will help offset all of the slouching. Also, there's a lot of slouching involved in drums, in sitting behind a computer, etc. So we're just trying to offset all that stuff. This is getting stretched, and between your shoulder blades is getting tightened, toned. And then relax. All of these stretches, there's no set time, there's no set number. It's basically do them, practice them, maybe with the intent, start with 30 seconds, see how that feels. But when you feel relief, Stuart Copeland said, when you feel your muscles change their mind, then move on. Okay, today my upper back's doing pretty good, so I wouldn't have stayed in that stretch too long. But there are times when I'll be there for a good 45 seconds to a minute. Now the next stretch is for your external rotators. We tend to, as drummers, keyboard users, there's a lot of internal rotation. So we want to go internal rotation of the humerus. So we want to go the other way. We want to externally rotate. So if you keep your arm about 45-degree angle away from your body, palms up, and you're just trying to rotate your arms backwards. It's called external rotation. So again, you may feel a stretch here. It's going to be a little less general across your whole chest. You may feel a little stretch here, and you may feel it kind of tone up in the back of your arm. And just breathe. In and out through your nose, just easy. Just until you feel your muscles change their mind, if we borrow from Stuart Copeland. Stuart Copeland played drums for the Police. And then we gently unwind. Now, borrowing directly from Stuart Copeland, and I'll put the link in the description below, this is a set of stretches he used for his hands for part of his warm-up. If you take your hand, let's say, I would recommend keeping your elbow slightly bent at first. Bend your wrist. This is called extending your wrist, and extend your fingers. As drummers and people who use keyboards and people who use phones, we get a lot of flexion. So the extension helps set off all the gripping and stuff like that. Now, keep your elbow bent at first, because if you're really tight here, you're going to meet a lot of resistance. You can see I've got a little issue with my pinky there. Keep breathing and constantly working on extending your hand and your fingers. Now, when this feels easy, you can gradually start to extend your arm. Technically, I should be like this. As you're extending your arm, you're taking up the slack. You're creating more tension on the stretch. And slowly back out. Both hands. Again, don't rush. You're not trying to power your way through it. It's the opposite. You're trying to be easy and gentle through it. So that way you get a nice relief sort of feeling in your stretch. That's for your extensors. Now for your flexors, you do what's called a tulip. All your fingers together this way, slight bend in your elbow, and then you flex your wrists a lot. So now we're trying to stretch these muscles. You're trying to bring your fingers to your forearm. Gently, easily, no pain at all if you can help it. Back off if you feel pain. But you're just trying to get your muscles to back off, trying to get them to change their mind. They want to resist it first, see if you can get them to back off. If this is super easy, again, just gradually straighten your arm all the way. You can also play around. Did you hear my elbow crack? You can also play around with different angles you put on the stretches, this way, because that will affect the different muscle fibers. So extension on both hands, flexion on both hands, just until the muscles change their minds, so to speak. Now, next one for the outside hips, because we sit abducted a lot with the snare drum between our knees, or just maybe you sit slightly abducted when you're at your computer. This one, you may want to sit on the floor, or make sure that whatever you're sitting on is very solid and immovable. Okay. This is my right leg. It's going to stay on the ground. Left leg comes across slightly, so I'm slightly crossing my legs, not all the way, slightly. My right hand comes under, grabs here. I'm trying to stretch the outside of my thigh, so I pull my knee, my left knee, towards my right armpit. Sitting up tall, breathing. Just hold and breathe. So now you're actually going to tone. The arm that's pulling is actually going to get toned because there's resistance here. Maybe 30 seconds, maybe more. Gently release. Make sure you do both sides. And last but not least is strengthening the inner thighs. So if you bring two fists together like this, place them between your knees. You're not going to be able to see. The camera angle is not great. Two fists between your knees, and now you just squeeze your fists. The inner thighs tend to get, there's no really correct clinical way to say, they get sleepy or they get soft or whatever, but they may lose tension, let's put it that way. So by squeezing your fists together, it could be a yoga block, it could be a telephone book, but squeeze isometrically for a good 30, 45, 60 seconds. Really give it a good squeeze, and then relax. Now, the last stretch, honestly, is just stand up once in a while. I'll put a link in the description for the half bridge pose. The half bridge will help a lot with tight hip flexors. You can do this stretching routine before you practice as part of your warm-up, during your practice when you take a little break, or after you practice. The key is just get it done to help stave off any negative side effects you may get from just the muscular imbalances that come with drumming. Watch this video all the way through from beginning to end. As you go through the stretches, please breathe in and out through your nose. Don't set a time limit. Don't set a minimum. We'll put it that way. Is you might do your neck retractions and you might be done in 10 seconds. But go in there with a mind like, I might be here for a minute. Be patient. Give yourself a full minute if you need it or more. Okay? Neck retractions, scapular retractions, external rotation, extension and flexion of the wrists, and then stretching and strengthening of the inner and outer thighs. Let me know how it goes. If you want me to provide yoga for anything that you need, let me know in the comments. Be sure and share this with someone, and of course subscribe to our channel because we appreciate it. I'm going to get back to some drumming, but I hope you will go forth and be awesome.